Hello, my name is Maris, and welcome to my show, Critical Root Zone, where we dig deep with inquiring minds to get to the root of sustainability, going below the surface to rebuild trust while supporting all voices on our journey to a climate-positive planet. It takes work, though. That's another thing about being sustainable or recycling or reusing is it takes work. It takes time and patience and thoughtfulness. And let's start with that.
Yeah, facts.
Welcome to the Critical Root Zone, baby.
I would say it's work, though. I think work is effort, right? And we talk about putting work in, and my recent song, Dirt, it's all about putting in that work, right?
Oh yeah, I love it.
You got to put in work, right? Get it out the dirt. But the work is the mindset, because it's about changing the mindset first so that you can embody that lifestyle.
Preach, sister.
You know what I mean? So for me, it's not about it being work. It's about saying, okay, let me put that work, if you want to use that word, into the meditation.
I like changing that word. You said effort. Let's change it right now. Effort.
But I use that word as well. And it's even in my recent song. So it's a word that we all can connect with and relate to. So I understand how that word works. See what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it can work too in a positive manner. And that's what I was getting towards. Is it's like, no, I think it's about changing the mindset. It's about saying, okay, I'm going to go thrifting because I want to find some unusual pieces to put into my wardrobe. Like this piece right here was probably like some guy's like army jacket at one point.
Yeah. And did you cut it?
I didn't. I found it this way.
Wait, was this an Atlanta find?
This was an Atlanta find.
Oh my gosh. We went shopping in ATL and I'm wearing
we just went to Atlanta
my
recently.
ATL outfit. One of them.
Yeah.
I owe a lot of my style boldness to you. Because ever since we've met.
You've always been bold, though.
Thank you for that. But ever since we met, I've recognized this just authenticity from you, and you've been working so hard at it for so long. No, reframe. You've been letting it flow. You've just been adding into your own thing, and you've been unapologetically yourself, and that has inspired me.
Yeah.
And that's why we're here today.
Yeah, exactly.
Because confidence comes from within. And when someone is bold enough to be different, that inspires so many people, I think. And that's why I wanted to talk to you and bring you on my show. We have the most incredible conversations. You're one of those people that when I speak to you, I'm like, shit, I wish somebody who's recording this right now, because it's
sometimes we do record it.
We do sometimes. Maybe those will be released later.
Day.
extra little bonus episodes.
Exactly.
But bringing
There's a lot of wisdom that comes into the conversations between us because we both have a lot to give.
Indeed,
so
we do, and we want to
because we put in that effort.
I just hear your song right now. Put in the work.
Yeah,
get out the
put
dirt.
in work. Get it. Yeah, put in work. Get it out the dirt.
Obviously, we're going to have to put that somewhere, that somewhere. So this is my friend who wears so many hats just like me.
Yeah.
And makes me feel a little bit better about it too, because everyone says, put it in a box or, you can't do all these things. And I decided I can. And so did you.
Yeah.
And I love to share your story and how you became who you are today. Who we're still growing into.
When am I going to be able to interview you?
We'll probably just do it simultaneously through this whole thing, girl.
Because I think we both have a lot to share today, truly, The reason we even connected was because we were drawn to our boldness, each other's boldness, We were both rocking very similar haircuts, and we were just like excited and fresh and like ready for just everything that life had to throw at us. And we were just in all the way, and we kept running into each other, and eventually it was like, we have to make this a regular thing.
We have to tell that whole story. I gotta tell it. We were in Whiskey Kitchen, a restaurant I used to work at here in Nashville.
I was just traveling to Nashville because we were trying to move here, and so we were looking at houses and consistently making trips back and forth because I have been in Nashville since like 2009 working in the music industry. I'm a songwriter and,
you could tell when this girl walked into a room. I mean, we were all like, who is at?
Oh my gosh. I love you.
And but meanwhile, you were sitting at
that's right here though, you know.
It is. But we were thinking the same thing because I wanted to tell you how cool your hair was. And as I'm walking over to tell her, she pokes me and it's like, oh my gosh, I love your hair. I was literally coming to say the same thing to you. And just, that was a beautiful moment. And we left that night without saying really anything else.
Yeah.
It was just like this passing of
just
love.
goodness.
Like, from a stranger who you knew. I knew you that moment.
But it was like connection though. It wasn't just like, oh, hey, what's up? I like your hair. It was like, oh my God, you're such a beautiful human too. I could feel you in that moment.
Oh gosh. But like you and I do that. We actually, we always go at anywhere we go. It's like a smile or a hi or how are you? Some people don't know how to take us together actually. Walking around, it's like, hi, hey, how are you? Oh yeah, it's been a great day. Like just sharing our entire lives.
Yeah.
But we met that night. And what, you say a year later?
I feel like it was almost a year later.
I can't believe that. That's insane.
Yeah, because it was like the next summer. And
I don't remember.
We had finally moved here.
Yeah.
And there she was in East
We passed
Nashville,
each other on the street.
Crossing each other, on the street. And I was like, girl, oh my gosh, I love your hair. And she goes, wait, I know you.
I'm like, wait a minute. I know you. You know me. And we figured it out where we knew each other from. And she was with her husband, Guy. And we took a photo that night. Yeah. Because we just, again, clicked. We finally exchanged information. Yeah. And the rest is history. But man,
here we are.
I'm refreshed by you.
And I get to be so like, blessed by your presence all the time because you are so intentional about your time with people. So thank you for that.
Feel the same way about you. Yeah. Well, let's get into that.
All right, let's go.
I want you to tell my viewers, watchers, family, CRZ fam, what just you've been through, your story, just anywhere you want to start, you choose. I love to share your story as much as you are willing to share.
Yeah, my story, it's all in my music, So like if you want to hear my story.
Yeah, it is.
Like the deepest depths of my story. And I've been writing a lot too lately and I've been really in the zone and really flowing. And it's just more and more of me and my music. And it's just incredible, right? So you can go there and dive in, but
it really is too.
But I can, break it down for you a little bit. And I guess, we all have a story. So sharing your story is very personal and very healing too.
Yeah, girl.
And I think it's important for us to share our story because it frees us from our own limitations, our own restrictive mindsets. And so for me, like transitioning from, what I come from into the spaces that I'm in now, isn't that I've changed. It's that I've evolved and I continue to evolve and grow and be intentional. And even before coming here today, I meditated for almost an hour out in the sunlight just to just be present. So I could just be there and understand where I'm at so that I could come here with raw, authentic energy that is able to be received, right? So it's not about my story as much as it is about the overcome of it. So for me, I had a really young mother. She had me when she was a senior in high school. Married my father her senior year in high school. And I was born into a very young relationship that was not ready. And there was a lot of brokenness there. I think that a lot of us have experienced that in our own realms, in our own homes. For me, I never really knew my parents together. My mom, she came through a lot herself. And she was, still really working through a lot of those things in her life. And so because of the absence of my father and just the different things that were kind of going on in my life, it really, created this unconsciousness in my home, in myself and my mother and everyone around me, really. It wasn't intentional. I don't think anyone really intentionally tries to hurt each other or push each other away or, any of that. But I think it's a matter of our own brokenness and unconsciousness and inability to face ourselves and the reflection that we avoid.
Mm-hmm.
We see what we want to see when we look at ourselves, but do we really see? Are we really looking into our own eyes? Are we really taking those moments to be present with ourselves so that we can, change the deeper parts of ourselves so that we not even change, so that we can transform the deeper parts of ourselves and grow from the hurt, from the pain, rather than allowing that to be who you are. So when I say it's not about my story, it's not, because my story is everyone's story before me.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And then at some point, I just became that and accepted that that was mine too. And then I became very broken. And I was unable to do things with wisdom and knowledge at a young age because I didn't have leaders and guidance in my life that were even ready to do that. And that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't always ready. I had my son when I was 20. Believe me, I've made mistakes.
Sure. We all have.
Ooh, honey.
It makes us who we are. It builds us.
It helps us when it makes us who we are when we reflect.
Yes.
It makes us who we are when we don't reflect too.
Yes.
And so if we're not present, then we become what it is that someone else told us we were.
Sure. Exactly.
That someone else made us feel.
Yeah.
We've all been hurt. We've all come through things. I went into foster care when I was 11. My mom and I were literally just clashing.
My mom and I too, yes.
And it's not her fault. And I don't blame her. That's not it. I did at one point.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
But you come to a place where you have to just accept and have radical acceptance.
It's the only way.
Of what is. And then whatever unfolds. And, but that doesn't mean that you ride underneath, and stay unnoticed. You have to get on your wave and you got to ride it and you got to be present in it, or you will tumble and you will fall. And when you tumble and you fall, you get up and you swim to the top and you start over and you climb that wave again and you ride it,
Ride that shit.
Yeah. And so, moving forward, it's like, okay, I went into foster care and now I feel, alone and I feel abandonment and I feel all these things. So I start to act out and really make these wild decisions, and the areas in me just, was starting fires, like not good ones.
Yeah.
Not good ones, mama. I was putting myself in a world of hurt and it was no one's fault. There was a lack of guidance in my life. That doesn't mean I'm blaming. That just means it wasn't available to them either.
Facts.
And along the way, I don't know why, but I was able to find an awakening space because I wanted peace so badly in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that the people who suffer the most are more likely to awaken. Doesn't mean they will.
And they're the most extraordinary too, because you're coming from such a deep, dark place, we think. We can't get out of it, and it can eat you alive if you let it. Mm-hmm. And I was tired of that shit too. I had a similar experience, just young parents who did their best. And that's how I reflect and heal, because I accept what happened. Yeah. And I love them.
Yeah, same.
I love them. And I'm so grateful for everything, honestly, because
for the chances they took too, because
we're here.
Yeah.
We're here.
Yeah.
And look at us. Mm-hmm. I think
look at us.
Look at us, man.
All sexy.
Well, this conversation, the reason why I don't think I really have to tie sustainability into things, because it's everything. right? Jaffe, right? Like, my brother's in the room and he's going to be on the next episode, but there's no us without the world, without plants, people, the ocean, the sky.
Yeah. The water.
We are not going to exist without it. And it's dying.
You know, I was in Atlanta this last week and it was raining one of the days. And everyone's like, oh, the rain, oh, the rain, oh, the rain. As I'm carrying
I love the dang rain,
my
man.
water bottle around, which, by the way, this is half of a gallon. You can get this on Amazon. It's got a straw. Not sponsored.
Product placement.
But real talk. And this woman in the elevator was like, oh, you know, I just wish it wasn't raining. And I picked up my bottle and I said, well, ma'am, without the rain, we wouldn't have this.
Ooh.
We
boom.
wouldn't exist.
Perspective.
The rain is so necessary. If we could reframe it, the clouds give us shelter from the sun. Sometimes we need that break from the sunshine.
Yes.
The sunshine is so necessary. But the
Yes.
darkness and the light, they give us balance. We can't see the light without the darkness.
Reframing this word, right? Reframing.
Yeah.
That is sustainability.
Mm-hmm.
We have to reframe our perspective. We have to reframe how we build things, restructure it, reimagine it. Restore it. Right? That's a big breath. I was like, oh, relief when I hear those words.
You know why? Because it's release. Restore is in the release. We can't restore unless we release. Period.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
And the growth of us as humans and what we go through directly relates to how we act in the world.
Yeah.
These stories that are all very much so similar.
So similar.
There's no way.
Different textures.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we all have homes, right? Well, not all of us, but
our differences are what make us
but
similar.
All the homes have
right?
a different feel, a different smell, a different this, a different that, different food is cooked, different, you know.
It's beautiful.
But we're all living and we're all
in different parts of the world, different cultures.
Everything.
Different
and our homes look
faiths.
Different. Some of us live on the streets and that's our home. Some of us live in mansions. Some of us live in apartments and condos and, you know, all these different tiny homes and
sidewalks,
countryside in the city and sidewalks and literally like there's so many different homes, right? And that just shows us though that like home isn't a place. Home is right here.
Yeah.
It's in the ones that are around us. It's in our families. And when I say family, I mean the people that we have brought into our lives, that were put into our lives, and that hold us and love us and restore us.
Because we're all family, man. Every single one of us are family.
We're all connected. I mean, we're all human
We are brothers
beings.
and sisters and mothers and fathers. And it's like, we all came from the same place. Why are we fighting each other all the time? It's healing within though, right? It's healing within. That's where it starts because hurt people. And that just shows you it starts with you. It starts with you changing it. You owning it, you looking at it, believing in it, and making an action, doing something about it.
Yeah.
And that builds fire.
Confidence.
It vibrates from within you. And there's no stopping it, man. Like, and fear and doubt, they live. It creeps back in every once in a while, but you surround yourself with people who are also on this journey. Yeah. I know.
And you gotta think too, like, you know, I always tell my kids, like, the 5 people you hang with the most are the 5 people you're gonna be most like. So you're going to influence them the most as well. So we have to really be aware of that, consciously aware of that. And there's people you love who are not good for you. So you have to understand that there's small gaps of time.
They're not good for themselves.
Because they're unconscious. So staying conscious in this world of unconsciousness is very difficult to do. And that's why it takes real intention, real effort.
Boundaries.
Yeah. But the boundaries come with your presence though, because then you know at your core what is needed for you. And then you can build those boundaries. We seek for them. We look for the boundaries that we need. And we try to come up with all these things based on what books tell us. And No. Learn how to shut up. I lost my voice for 5 weeks. I couldn't speak for 5 weeks in 2019. I just moved to Nashville. I just was getting off the ground.
Wait, same though.
My fan base.
I lost my voice when I first moved to Nashville
was
too.
Crazy growing. My friends, my network, everyone. I just was meeting everyone. I was making music. Things were so good. And I was on the rise and I was working out 6 days a week and I was on a billboard and I was doing all these things and I was just living and I was
fast.
All the time.
Go.
Lost my voice. And my voice coach said, you need to stop speaking.
Ooh.
What? That's what I do. What do you mean? I speak. I sing. What are you talking about? I have a show in 6 weeks. No, I can't do that.
Ooh.
You cannot speak. If you speak, you will never get your voice back. It was devastating.
News
My
like
whole
that.
family left for 5 weeks. All I had were the dogs.
Where'd they go?
They went back up north to where we're.
You stayed in Nashville.
And I stayed in Nashville so that I didn't have to speak. And that is when my transformation really began. That is when I really started to become aware of myself and what was needed for me because I couldn't speak. And if I had to speak, I had to decide in that moment if it was really worth using my voice and risking my future in music. Music is in us. Whoever has music in you, you know what I mean. It's in you. You can't deny it. And to be unable to serve that in my life would be an absolute loss. It would be a death.
I understand.
And that would be awful. So I couldn't whisper. Whispering is actually worse for your voice when you lose your voice, in case y'all didn't know that.
Really?
Yes, because you use your voice real tight. Whisper real quick.
It's so weird.
Did you feel how it just raised? You feel how your vocal cords just went up?
I don't know.
They tighten when you do that.
Okay, we'll stop now.
So yeah, but all I'm saying is, I know, but it's a real thing, Vocalists, we have to be aware of that.
I'm going to tap in.
And not just singers, speakers. We need to be understanding that.
I don't know if I knew. I remember that you told me that happened, but I also lost my voice when I first moved to Nashville, but it was the opposite. I was in a bottom of the barrel type mindset.
Yeah.
I was drinking a lot, using drugs in a way that, that really numbed me instead of enriched my life. And when I lost my voice, when I was here to sing, and I had no family, no friends, no idea where I was even living at the time. And I couldn't even sing.
Yeah.
Oh no. I got real sad real fast.
Yeah.
And I didn't stop speaking. I didn't have a doctor tell me that, but
I didn't have a doctor, but I have a vocal coach who I've been working with for 13 years.
I did get one eventually. And he was a client of mine at Hotbox because I was also yelling in the kickboxing room.
I remember. And I was like, here's a steamer, Maris. Do you ever use that steamer? No. And see, that's the thing. We have the tools right in front of us sometimes. And we aren't aware of them. So because we're doing too much. So just want to bring you back. And that's something I always am speaking with you about, right? We're always I'm like, Maris, slow down, baby girl. Because you're wearing yourself out. And because I see it in you just like you see it in me. Because we're literally sisters. We are so connected. So
it's helpful for me.
That's what you need though. And that brings us back to the 5 people that we spend our time with, right? Because it's about having those people who want and know, not know, but want what's best for you and are willing to remind you
and challenge you
in a kind and loving
way, but
without being,
hey, even if it came from the right place, though, I think that we all are trying to be honest.
Yeah.
And so I would rather someone be honest with me and say the wrong thing, but like be able to say, I'm sorry, I didn't know how to say that.
Facts.
Versus never telling me at all because they're scared that they're going to say the wrong thing.
Right.
That's a problem. Like not being able to just
communicate.
Hey, I'm feeling this sort of way. I'm sorry. I don't even know how to acknowledge this right now. And then the other person trying to receive that with love, because that's a practice too. Being able to take something that maybe it's just to think about it first and be like, what is the intention behind this? And I've had a lot of experience with this firsthand, and who I am. My personality is very strong and aggressive.
And you have a lot of energy naturally.
I have a ton of energy.
Yeah.
And I'm excited. Good. I sleep hard.
You love hard. It's like, and that just comes back to you full throttle.
I feel it. And sometimes that used to stifle me when I would try to just say something or do something. I'd stop. Like some people had told me, hey, you need to be a little more careful like with that. And I took it and thought about it. I was like, okay, maybe.
Or maybe
I can just be aware of that. And see where it's coming from, a place. Where is it coming from?
And I think it depends who it's coming from too.
True.
Who's you really have
things? Are they confident? Are they people that you want to be like? That's how I kind of think about it.
Inspire maybe more
you.
So. Mm-hmm.
But I remember that, and it went through my mind for quite a few times just to try and unravel it.
Yeah.
And I accepted it, and then I paid attention.
Yeah.
And it made me.
That's the awareness.
I actually felt like I learned a ton by that, because now when I do choose those moments to go for it, I'm 100% in.
Yeah.
And that's something I'm working on every day. And
not working on, you're putting effort towards, right? You're aligning in that space. You're flowing into that space
I'm
more every day.
Things to just
So let's stop even thinking about it. I know I put a song out called Dirt, gotta put it in work. Okay, and it's a vibe, y'all. If you want to work out and get a good little... Get it, gotta put in work.
And then I also want to talk about What Are We Gonna Do? It's one of my favorite songs. And
I love that.
This is when I knew like you'd share your music before it dropped with me.
Yeah.
And when I heard the words and saw the videos, it was spiritual.
Well, you really inspired that song too. So
me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
What are we gonna do? Ooh. Ooh. I love it. And that...
Who's gonna build bridges?
We wanna know. We can sing it all. We can sing it all.
Remember my own words right now?
Yeah, it's okay. I do that. I do that shit all the time. We're human. I remember that more times than
but we're also beings.
Present in the moment. Beings. And just enjoying that we're going to make mistakes. We're going to say stupid stuff. Like, and if we
I never say anything stupid. I don't know what you're talking about.
Some of us are perfect, y'all. Some of us are perfect. No.
You gotta know.
I put my foot in my mouth
I'm just kidding.
Often, but not as often as I used to. And I think it's, like I said, again, it's having that confidence to just say what you feel after having a little conscious thought about it.
I was thinking about that earlier, in our conversation, because that's a really important thing to talk about. Speaking on what you need. I'm getting better at it. I haven't always been very great about that because I'm kind of a people pleaser at heart. I really want to
same
show up for people that I love and just do it all. But that's why I found myself losing my voice, because it was just too much, and we all, negative, quote unquote, negative things. Losing my voice was not a negative thing. So I'm gonna unsay that. First of all,
you and I are all about words. Words are important, right? Like what you say.
I'm a lyricist too, So I really think about words, and I think about the meaning in a word and what that speaks. What does that say?
I think a lot about it in manifestation. It's you speak on it.
Yeah.
It's a part of the being. I don't even know. It's just there. It's like you're pushing it into existence when maybe that's not it at all. Like,
right. But what, we have to be more aware of is speaking on what we need. And the people who cannot receive that when it's coming from a place of your own need, that is not your responsibility.
It's not.
It can be a bummer sometimes.
Yes.
But you have to be able to know what it is that you need. Like for me, I am in a space of writing right now. And for me to be in flow, to allow creativity to flow through me rather than to have to try to make it happen, I have to stay in a certain space for me. And that's important. And I know that. And I know that I can't make commitments that are unrealistic or any commitment sometimes at all, because I know that I'm in this flow state of writing and I'm giving all of my attention to that. And I was listening to Eckhart Tolle actually earlier this morning, and he said when he was writing his book, he had several people tell him, once he said he was writing his book on awareness and the purpose of now and being present, they said, "Oh, that's been overdone. Oh, ha, ha, ha. Like, don't waste your time." And he said, but I continued to stay in my awareness, in my presence. And I wrote the book because I was writing the book for me, for my own growth, for my own journey, for my own calling, not for anybody else's, not for fame, not for money, not for success, not for any of that, but for his own calling, what was coming through him. He needed to put that into a book, into form. And then he released that into the world. And it has become absolutely life-changing for so many people.
Wow.
And that's because he listened to himself and he wasn't making money. And he was, just focused on this thing and living like a really mediocre, like simple life, and still does, because it's not about that.
And loving every second of it because he's fulfilling his desire to whatever this passion is. He's just feeding it to because it comes out like. Yeah. I relate to that, man. Mm-hmm. I relate to that right now.
But if we don't open our souls and our spirits and our minds to the flow of life, and it's not about like, oh, I'm just gonna go with the flow. No. That's not what I'm saying. Yes, to some extent. But going with the flow and flowing are two very different things to me. Going with the flow is kind of like, like you just do kind of what makes people happy. And
letting things push you.
Letting kind of doing the things that you feel just you have to do because of expectation. No. Flowing is doing exactly what feels in alignment with your innate being.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Anything that makes you feel out of that space,
which can feel like shit sometimes
for you, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And you have to just be willing to have radical acceptance and let it go. Let it flow out of your space.
Let it go.
It's not meant for you. And you know what? You're not meant for everyone either.
Right.
So, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
That's the big one. You're not meant for everyone. That's such a lesson for me in my life.
They just don't know it
right
yet.
now.
You are, but they just don't know it yet.
Yeah. I guess that's it.
No, but truly though, it's like, just letting go of that.
This is
that
all
mindset of the need to please or the need to be something that you're not, because guys, we're human beings.
Yeah.
We're not just humans. We're beings. We're form, but we are consciousness. The consciousness is in this form. This form, the reason I work out, the reason you work out, the reason we do the things that we do to stay healthy is because we want to use this form
This
to the best
body,
of its
this
ability
vehicle.
so that we can transform.
Wow. I have to share something.
Okay.
I have to share something from what you literally just said. Do you remember my friend that passed away, Matthew Brannon?
Absolutely.
I was going through my screenshots last night, this very odd album on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't done this, go through your screenshot album because it's just so weird.
It's like the most random things.
It's the most random shit ever. But I have an excerpt that he wrote. I'm pretty sure this is, and man, if it's not him, I'm pretty sure it is though. One of my other friends that was really close to him sent me a piece of a paper he wrote on like if death. It's about death, I think.
Wow.
Okay. Hopefully I know all these words, but I'm gonna read it real fast.
Yeah,
You ready?
Don't read it fast. Don't rush it.
I can't believe I found this last night and then here we are talking about this. So, death is a paradoxical mystery that seems to haunt us all. When researched biblically, we find life after death. Scientifically, we also see life after death, but in a different contrast. Biblically, our soul moves on to a new state of being that is either in a magical oasis or eternal pain and suffering, depending on if the individual led a good life or bad. However, the soul is not a scientifically proven specimen. Science declares the human body a structure composed of many elements that act and react with the other, forming electrical signals that we then use to explain our consciousness. Once death occurs, those electrical signals fail and disappear, resulting in loss of all consciousness. When the body loses its consciousness, it then decays, leaving behind unused nutrients that will feed many other species of plants and animals, allowing them to live. Our souls are an idea we base on faith and believing in a higher power, hope. My faith guides me to believe that there is life for the soul after our earthly consciousness fades, a life of reuniting with loved ones in a world free of pain and sorrow. It's so beautiful.
That is beautiful.
Whoa. And just to know like that he wrote that before he passed, like that he made it there. That's so beautiful. Oh, I'm crying. I've been remembering him a lot lately. Yeah. I've been seeing 222 everywhere. I looked it up. Woo, my angel numbers right now are just, telling me to keep on going, that this is worth it, that it's all worth it, no matter what. As hard as it feels and challenging as it might be, keep going.
Always keep going.
Just keep going.
Keep flowing.
Keep flowing. Keep growing. Yeah. It's gonna tear you down.
Yeah.
And that's part of life.
But without the contrast, we do not grow.
We need it. Mm-hmm. And it's life and death. It's the yin and the yang. Mm-hmm. It's the duality of life. I'm going to shout out to Frederick because he talk about that constantly. Yeah. And I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed every day. Yeah. And it's because I chose a series of really hard decisions in my life that led me to right where I'm at. And it's shown me every single time.
Necessary decisions.
It doesn't feel good all the time.
But every decision is necessary along the way.
You accept every single thing that happened. That's mm-hmm. what you were telling me. That's mm-hmm. your story. My story, we acknowledge it. Mm-hmm. We see where it fits in the puzzle mm-hmm. and we release it. Mm-hmm. And talking about it, yeah. It's so freeing. It's so liberating. And more people deserve to just be that free. Yeah. And that will vibrate throughout the world. And it's a big vision.
But freedom is more than what we see freedom as, because freedom is really in our own beings,
Yeah, that's whatever you think freedom is.
Well,
right?
Freedom to me is eliminating doubt. and trusting yourself, because that is what is your journey. Your journey is created through a series of choices. So we can't change, but we can become a little better by choice.
Mm-hmm.
And then a little bit better and a little bit better. And that's why when you go to the gym, you don't see results in the first week sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
because it takes consistency. Everything takes consistency. Growth takes consistency. Change starts by literally just doing something different. If you're depressed, get outside and get some sunshine and go for a walk.
Go for a walk.
If you can't walk, get a wheelchair. I don't know what you got to do. Get yourself outside.
Open a window.
Oh, no. Go outside.
Okay.
Outside.
Get out there.
I was in a hotel for 6 days. I didn't have access to outside. I'm an outdoor person. I started to get not down, but just I felt the energy changing in myself. And it was very clear to me that we need to be outside. There's molecules and oxygen.
We are
in
the earth,
air.
man.
Like,
the earth is us.
Ooh,
you got to connect. You got to get out there and breathe it in and feel it and get dirty and remind yourself where you come from.
So schedule your appointment with your therapist or your, whoever is your mindset leader, whoever helps you heal, whoever your healer is. Like, schedule those appointments and be very intentional about that. But also make yourself some friends that like really support you for real and see you like no question about it. They see you, they get you, they understand you, or if they don't, they want to.
Right.
And they aren't trying to change you, and they're not giving you advice, but they're asking you important questions that help you to find the answers within yourself, because nobody knows the answers for you. I promise you that.
Only you, baby. Only you. That's it.
So it's literally that. So you've got to start trusting yourself. The moment you trust yourself is when you can begin to trust others.
Yes.
We try to build these relationships with other people to build trust. That's the wrong way around, y'all. We are not doing that right. Trust yourself first. And you can do that by literally getting up and meditating or working out or making yourself a good breakfast or getting out in the sunshine right away in the morning or walking your dogs or whatever you got to do to get yourself into a space of positivity, enlightenment, that inspired feeling. That's what fuels us. That's what helps us eliminate the darkness in our minds. That's what helps us eliminate the thoughts.
Helps us become more of ourselves.
Right, because our thoughts are actually like what literally get in our way. There's nothing else. It's literally all our thoughts. We make our own reality here.
We create stories constantly,
It's like, and then in between, like when you're speaking, I'm really present with you. I'm not even thinking about what I'm going to say next.
Right.
But most people would be thinking about what they got to do after this or what that happened this morning or,
it's not necessarily their fault either because that's just the world we live in most of the time.
It is, but that's why we have to retrain ourselves, reframe
slow down
all of these different mindsets and start to not even necessarily like slow down, because I think people think slow down. I can't do that. I got to work. I got to do this. Okay, that's not what I mean. But when you're on your way to work, there's this amazing app called Endel.
Yeah, you showed me that one. That one's pretty dope.
It is a frequency app. It is a yearly subscription. And it's not cheap, but it's an investment in yourself. And you can put it on in the background of everything that's always going on. When you answer a phone call, it can still be in the background. So you can keep yourself in this like frequency.
So many ways.
Space. There's so many ways.
Technology has gone off the chain.
Right. Technology is crazy, but you can even just listen to the birds in your backyard. You see what I'm saying?
We love the birds. We love the birds.
And the squirrels.
This has been an incredible time with you. Like, this has been so much fun.
It's always so much fun. This just felt like we were hanging out on my back porch. I remember you were sitting back there like, maybe we should do it on your back porch one time. I was like, ooh, yeah, let's
do it. So many opportunities, so many things, but
we could sing.
This is this has been amazing. We should probably do it again. Do it again sometime.
Probably.
Yeah. But overall,
definitely.
this podcast has really grown into what my experience with sustainability is, which is we have to love each other in order to do anything. This planet is going to keep doing its thing. It's going to keep going once we're all gone. And what's crazy is like, we won't even probably see anything really happen in our lifetime. But knowing the science and knowing what we know, there's really no excuse for this, for what's happening. So there are more people out there doing the work, and I want them on my podcast, and I want people that are doing it in all ways, because sustainability is everything. And so if we're
sustainability is the heartbeat.
And this is the heart of
everything we do.
This is the heart of sustainability, this whole series. And I think like that's just going to be the critical root zone is getting to the heart of sustainability. When we were talking about getting to the root, it's critical root zone. It's like the roots underneath the tree. That's the whole idea with critical root zone is getting under.
The roots lead to the heart. You know?
Yes. But we have to love ourselves. Yeah. In order to love anyone else, you have to have love for yourself. And that's something you and I have been through.
And if you can't do that right in this moment, then have acceptance of where you're at and face that, and then make a choice right now to do something different. That's it.
Beautiful.
And like right now, this is the choice you have. This moment is the only moment you have. So take this chance to do something for yourself that enlightens you and inspires you.
Thank you. Yeah. Oh.
I love you, Maris.
I love you, Red.
Thank you for having me.
I'm honored. I'm honored.
You're honored.
Man, the next episode of CRZ is going to be with my brother, Ross Jaffe Judah.
And it's gonna be a good one.
I'm stoked for this one. You don't want to miss it either. So stay tuned.
Yeah. Cheers.
Thank you for listening to Critical Root Zone. If you'd like to reach out, email us at criticalrootzone@gmail.com.